Welcome to Sunshine Vibes TV. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. And now, let's recognize the signs of the times.
Silent time, mess with your mind. Hurry before it's too late.
Everyone was warned, but no one listened.
Global warming.
And a bomb falls. They about to see the dawn time. Hurricane and it rip the ceiling off a church and kill everyone inside. You turn on the telly and every other story is telling you somebody died.
Tornadoes.
There it is. There it is. This tornado just touched down. Well, we can see it from right here. It's ripping up trees. It's ripping up everything in its sight. If you're above ground, you need to get to a storm shelter or a safe place right now.
Tsunamis.
East of downtown Los Angeles.
Earthquakes.
The quake centered about 20 miles.
Floods. Fires.
Sister killed her baby cause she couldn't afford to feed it. And was sending people to the moon.
Diseases.
Fast skinny man died of a big disease with a little name.
COVID-19. So just 2 or 3 minutes ago, this patient was alive.
Even ICUs struggle as the body count soars.
Colin Kaepernick is warming up with his teammates on the field, but a little bit later tonight, about 100 feet to my right on the sideline, he is expected to kneel once again and protest to what he says are social injustices to African Americans. And just more than a month ago when he started this, he sat alone.
September, my cousin tried reefer for the very first time.
So we thought was a meaningless preseason game. But what went mostly unnoticed at the time surely is anything but meaningless now.
It's to bring awareness and make people realize what's really going on in this country. There are a lot of things that are going on that are unjust, people aren't being held accountable for, and that's something that needs to change.
In the effort to stand for what he believed in, his action to sit was later lifted to taking a knee. As 5 weeks have passed, each day offering a new voice, a new form of support.
The reason these guys are kneeling, the reason we're locking arms is to bring people together, to make people aware that this is not right.
Wake up!
Colin Kaepernick's protest to evoke attention to social injustices has spurred reaction and action unlike any we've seen in recent decades. And kneels for what he believes in.
When there's significant change, and I feel like that flag represents what it's supposed to represent, and this country is representing people the way that it's supposed to, I'll stand.
No cap.
With Kaepernick pushing down the first domino, we've seen potentially prudent dialogue broached between players and political officials in some markets, like Seattle.
This is called unity. Now we're going to push the needle.
As players, coaches, veterans, and politicians all have their opinion and are expressing it.
Mr. Kaepernick, he's exercising his constitutional right to make a statement. I think he cares about some real, legitimate issues.
Racial injustices.
We're tired. We tried kneeling. When we kneeled, there was a problem. We tried trying to talk situations out. When we did, there was a problem.
Black Lives Matter! Black Lives Matter! Black Lives Matter! Black Lives Matter! Black Lives Matter!
We have no tolerance anymore.
Out here right now, this is exactly where we all need to be.
Martin Luther King said, "Your silence is complicit."
That all men are created.
We all need to be out here fighting for change.
They were running battles between protesters and police through the streets. and coursing through the crowd, some activists at times pleaded with the police to show restraint.
Why don't you guys stand up against the bad cops?
Kneeling and begging them to see.
Our message: to treat us like American citizens, to treat us like we matter, to treat us like you're actually here to protect and serve. There's no reason for y'all to pull a gun out on us before actually trying to figure out the situation, to try to understand the situation.
The White House and the president in lockdown. He is barricaded in that building while we've got protesters outside.
And this is just one city among dozens across the country that are experiencing this wave of unrest and the re-emergence of deep-seated racial grievances.
R.I.P. to my brothers and sisters, gone but not forgotten.
2021 will be the boldest year ever for tackling climate change.
Global warming.
New wave of even colder weather is threatening huge swaths of the country.
And the concern right now are these rolling outages.
This is such a scary situation for everyone who does not have power tonight.
The entire state, for the first time in weather history.
Temperatures are a solid 40 to 50 degrees below normal.
The agency overseeing Texas's power grid has declared its highest emergency level in over a decade.
Mid-February, cold Arctic air, usually contained up north in the Earth's jet stream, dipped down into the U.S. It's called a polar vortex, and it's pretty common. It's what brings the coldest air to the U.S. during the winter. What was unusual is for it to dip as far south as it did. In Texas, where February is typically fairly warm, temperatures dipped dangerously low. And it came with a storm. More than 4 million Texans lost power. Many wouldn't get it back for nearly 5 days. People were melting snow for drinking water, and dozens had died from the cold in their cars and in their homes. And it was almost even worse. The state's entire electrical grid was within seconds and minutes of a failure that would have lasted months. But even though this storm hit this huge area, it was really just Texas that had major loss of power.
Well, where I live, New York City, there's a few more weeks of winter. Look how beautiful this is. You can find peace in the storm. Oh, and if you haven't seen it already, be sure to watch my previous video. Live, New York City, treacherous, beautiful blizzard.
What is our mandate? I believe it's this. And the battle to save our planet by getting climate under control.
We have a new president, but some people did not want to accept it.
Today was a dark day in the history of the United States Capitol.
Did you know that enslaved blacks built the Capitol?
On January 6th, hundreds of Trump supporters stormed the Capitol complex. The insurrection was the worst breach of Capitol security since the War of 1812. The siege led to widespread vandalism. More than 50 police officers were injured and 5 people died. As the last lawmakers from the House floor leave at 2:42 p.m., the number of rioters grows around the House chamber. Some representatives remain in the House gallery. Officers move aside as a tactical unit is arriving, but the mob starts smashing the windows with flagpoles and helmets. Ashley Babbitt, a Trump supporter and Air Force veteran, tries to climb through the shattered door window. An officer fires a single shot. Members are soon concerned their lapel pins might identify them.
Yeah. The fuck?
Take your pins off.
Pins off.
Babbitt later died of her injuries. At 2:49, the members in the House gallery are being evacuated by Capitol Police. Members make their way to safety, the last of the large groups of lawmakers to do so. Over the next several hours, police work to secure the building, dispersing the crowd using stun grenades and other riot control tactics. The governors of Maryland and Virginia dispatched National Guard troops.
The senatorial concession reassembled to confirm that Joe Biden is president-elect and Kamala Harris is vice president-elect. And Donald Trump is impeached for incitement of insurrection.